we can go real briefly over WD labeling 7200 RPM drives as 5400 RPM class. Now, can I just throw this at you for a second here? If you ordered a 5400 RPM hard drive for your laptop or your external drive enclosure or whatever, would you see yourself as being potentially pretty stoked when you get a 7200 RPM drive?
I guess, yeah.
Okay. Well, Redditors of r/data hoarder are upset with Western Digital again, this time for misrepresenting the rotational speed of their WD Red NAS hard drives. Wait, what the... is this blah blah? In the past, they have not disclosed the 5400 drives on firmware. Yeah, okay. So what happened was for each of several drive models, Redditor Amaroko placed a sample of that drive on an empty cardboard box with a mic held directly above it. This is great. Spectral analysis of the recorded audio using Adobe Audition showed a baseline frequency of 120 hertz for two models of WD's 8 terabyte 5400 RPM class drives. That multiplied by 60 seconds per minute comes to 7,200 cycles per minute. So these 5,400 RPM class drives really were spinning at 7,200 RPM. Now, faster spindles do mean lower seek latency, and that's good for performance. But in the context of a NAS, where you might actually be more interested in low noise...
I thought you said laptop.
I did. I'm sorry. Low noise and low power consumption, it can be a disadvantage because it'll actually produce more heat and make more noise. So
yeah, NAS is a bit of a different situation,
yeah,
for sure.
That's true. Sorry.
Okay.
So unfortunately, the 8 terabyte Red that was confirmed to be 7,200 RPM consumes 8.8 watts compared to Seagate's Barracuda 5.3 while active, and 800 milliwatts compared to 250 milliwatts in standby. Oops. When they're spinning at the same RPMs, Western Digital and Seagate's drives consume roughly the same power. Like, the thing to remember is when you're spinning, it's not like it's this linear difference in power consumption as you increase the spindle speed. Going from 5,400 to 7,200 RPM is not just a, whatever that works out to, 40% increase in power consumption in order to keep it going that fast. I mean, even when the drives are full of helium, like the air resistance inside these drives is a significant problem. That's one of the reasons that 10,000 RPM drives never took off for consumers. They were just so much harder to engineer compared to 7,200 RPM, even though it only sounds like, again, like 40% more rotational speed. So Western Digital's response here was 5,400 RPM class does not actually mean the drive spins at 5,400 RPM. Instead, they have published RPM speed within a class or performance class for years rather than publishing specific spindle speeds. They also said they fine-tuned select hard drive platforms and the related characteristics to create several different variations of such platforms to meet different market or application needs. Blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think there might be a little bit of confusion in our notes here because I really thought these were 2.5-inch drives. 2.5. But I don't see any reference to that in the Ars article, which
the Ars article on the picture, it says WD10 SPZX, WD Blue 1 terabyte 2.5 inch.
Okay, so I think what people were mostly upset about was these 2.5-inch drives in their laptops affecting battery life. Don't quote me on that. The point is, whatever kinds of drives they were, there can be disadvantages to increasing the spindle speed, and Redditors are mad. There you go. That's the summary.